Did you know that El Salvador is the safest country in the world? It's true, check the stats. El Salvador has the lowest homicide rate in the world, even safer than Japan. But it wasn't this way for most of its recent history. In fact, from 2000 to 2012, El Salvador was the murder capital of the world. At one point, there were more than 100 homicides per 100,000 people. That's 5 times the homicide rate of Detroit. So what happened? What made this tiny Central American country the most dangerous place on earth? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a perfect storm of poverty, inequality, corruption, a lack of opportunity, and a whole lot of guns. But at the center of it all were 2 groups, the Mara Salvatrucha and the Barrio 18. These 2 gangs are almost identical. They both formed in the 80s, they both have roots in poverty, and they both use violence to achieve their goals. So how did El Salvador go from being the safest country in the world to the murder capital in just a few decades? Well, as these gangs grew in power, they began to terrorize the general populace, not just each other. Entire villages would be murdered in a day, dismembered, decapitated, their bodies dumped in mass graves. The homicide rate skyrocketed. People couldn't walk down the street without getting murdered. Businesses couldn't operate. The entire country was at a standstill. It was a nightmare. So how did they stop it? How did El Salvador go from being the murder capital of the world to the safest country in just a few years? Well, in 2019, a new president was elected. He promised to restore order to the country, and he did. He took a zero-tolerance approach to crime, and he made it stick. He tripled the prison population by locking up as many gang members as possible. He also negotiated peace deals with the remaining gang leaders, promising them a noble death. He even launched a national dialogue with rival gang members. He recruited thousands of former gang members into the police force and the military. And he made it clear that anyone who didn't respect the law would be severely punished. The homicide rate dropped dramatically, going from over 100 per 100,000 people to just 13. That's the lowest homicide rate in the world. Japan is the second safest country, but their homicide rate is still twice as high as El Salvador. What's the lesson here? Even the most broken country in the world can turn itself around if it tries hard enough. Thank you for watching.